Hello everybody, welcome to this session on the settings tab. So last day we were talking about the Toolspace and in particular the prospector tab and how the prospector tab contains all of the Civil 3D objects contained in that drawing file. The settings tab looks very much like the prospector tab. It has a lot of the same headings. However, the settings tab has a much different role. It's a very important tab. It might be the most important tab. I don't know, but it's pretty important. Let's check it out. So the settings tab controls how all of those objects in Civil 3D are going to look and how they're going to be displayed on our drawing screen. There's also some critical drawing settings that we have to set up in the settings tab as well. So before we get into a drawing and start importing or creating new data, as usual, we're going to want to check out our AutoCAD units. So make sure that your bearings are measured clockwise, and also make sure that your azimuths are measured north up. So 0 is north. And once you've got that set up, we're going to pop back over into the settings tab here, and you'll see the name of the drawing listed. You're going to right click on the name of the drawing and go edit drawing settings. And in the edit drawing settings tab box, there's a number of different tabs set in here. The first tab is unit and zone. So you want to make sure that you've got your drawing units set up, your angular units, the scale we can worry about later once we get into the labeling. But more importantly, your datum coordinate system and map projection you're going to set up here. So you can change things down here if you like to whatever you want to set it to. It's up to you, but you can click your different categories, and in there it'll have the coordinate systems with the map projection assigned to it. So you can pick whatever you like in here this way, or if you know the code off by hand, if you use it a lot, you can type it in and it'll display it automatically there. So make sure that's set up before you get into too far into creating data in Civil 3D. The transformation tab we can probably leave alone for now. The Object Layers tab is pretty handy because this will save you some AutoCAD layer management. So for instance, whenever I create a brand new alignment, it's going to automatically get put on AutoCAD layer road. For all my alignment labels, it's going to go on this particular AutoCAD layer. And if I want to change it, I can just go ahead and click, and it brings me into my layer manager in AutoCAD, and I can go ahead and update or edit that. Okay, got it? Good. It just saves you a bit of time. Next is the abbreviations tab. So sometimes you'll want labels abbreviated a certain way. Every company has their own set of acronyms, so you can come in here and change that if you want to whatever you like, depending on what the acronym is. So that's very customizable. Next tab is the ambient settings tab. So this one's pretty interesting because this controls a lot of the precision and coordinate displays on how your objects are going to be measured and labeled in Civil 3D. So as an example, if I come into something like coordinate, if I open that up, it'll say my unit for coordinates are meter and my precision is 3. What that is telling you is that all of these objects here, whether it's points or surfaces, parcels, alignments, everything is going to be measured to 3 decimal place precision in meters. Okay, now that controls all of these different features. You also have the option to override that. So, you can come in here and set up how you want your elevations and your areas to be measured and labeled. But you can override that as well. So as an example for coordinates, let's say everything is labeled with 3 decimal place precision, but maybe my points I want labeled to 4 decimal place precision. Well, I can come and override those ambient settings for just that feature. So I'll pop over into the settings tab, I'll find that heading point, and I'll go edit feature settings. I click that, this refers just to the point. And I can come in here and go coordinates. Okay, for points I want to be 4 decimal places. Good. So what that is saying is that everything else is going to still be labeled and measured to 3 decimal places, but my points will be to 4 decimal places. Okay, so make sure you go into those edit drawing settings and set that up. That's really important that you go through that and check that out first. Now this also is going to be saved in the drawing template. So that's another important thing here where we're talking about AutoCAD Civil 3D is we want to use the right template, because you can have all this stuff pre-loaded into the template file. So you'll notice on this drawing in the settings tab, this drawing was used and was started using a Civil 3D template. And when I open up some of these different features in the settings tab, you'll notice there's all these different styles. These styles are used to show or display these, in this case, points. And things like surfaces will have its own styles. Those styles are going to be used to display the surfaces in different ways. So what you want to do is you always want to make sure that when you're creating a new drawing, that you use a Civil 3D template. So when you click the new drawing button, new drawing pops open. This new drawing was used using a Civil 3D template. How do I know that? Well, I can go into the AutoCAD drawing options. These are just your basic AutoCAD drawing options. And in the Files tab, you can come over into the template settings, for instance, and then there's your default template for when you click that new button. And in this case, it's going to by default use a Civil 3D metric template. So that's good. We want that. And what you don't want to do is use a basic AutoCAD template, because if that happens, you might end up with something like this. So let's say I use a basic AutoCAD template. This is not a Civil 3D template. And when I come in here, you'll notice that in this case, none of my drawing settings are set up. Everything's blank in here. And more importantly, for my styles, there's no styles loaded. So I got to build everything from scratch, and that's going to be an enormous amount of work. So don't do that. Always use a Civil 3D template, because when you use a Civil 3D template, you've got the styles already preloaded. So here you can copy these styles and make new ones or edit the existing ones. It's much easier. So please use a Civil 3D template every single time. And that's about it for the settings tab. So thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day. Bye now.